Welcome back to my channel. I'm Maria Killam, and I'm here today with my director of eDesign, Trisha Fermaniak, and she works out of Edmonton. We work on exteriors, renovations, and new builds, bathrooms and kitchens all around North America.
Yeah, in the eDesign department. So we have a team of 4 eDesigners. We work on thousands of packages, and we see people make really similar mistakes in each trend cycle all the time. So we help them, take their ideas and their inspiration and turn it into something that, they're going to enjoy for the long run. And it's not just going to sort of die out with the trend.
And so today we're talking about the 3 common mistakes that we see homeowners make over and over and over again. There are so many that when we're working on their packages, we're thinking, I am so glad that they hired us to help them.
Yeah. Because there's so many ways that you can make decisions for your exterior, your interior too, but we're talking about exterior.
That's right.
So for your exterior, that sort of put a timestamp on the way your house looks.
That's right.
And that's what you want to avoid for, the investment you're going to put into the exterior of your house. You want that to look beautiful for a really long time.
That's right. Because most people don't paint their exteriors for like maybe once every 20 years, maybe.
Yeah, it's a much bigger undertaking to repaint your whole exterior than it is to repaint your living room, for example.
That's right.
So you want to get it right.
Yeah. So the first mistake is opting strictly for the trend. So we're talking about the black and white trend, and let's just put it out there that, when the black and white trend first came along and it was painted white with black letters on it.
Yeah.
And I thought, so fresh.
Yeah.
I get why it's so trendy and why everybody loves it, because when's the last time white was a trend?
Well, right. I mean, we spent, the previous decade helping people, create a fresher look with their super dark, earthy, homes. And so white looked really, really fresh. And I think that's the way it landed for most people when it arrived on the scene. And I remember seeing, my first commercial exterior with sort of like a black and glass storefront with a big, bold black and white awning and black and white lettering. And I just thought, how bold and current and fresh. But the problem is, once that becomes the norm and it's sort of taking over everywhere, it starts to have a different feel.
It just starts looking so common. And sadly, white has been a timeless color for an exterior for decades. Like it really has, for the right home. However, now that literally every new subdivision is some version of white or black, it's too trendy.
It becomes sort of oppressive. And what I do notice too, it's really interesting because people get really deep into the trend and all the inspiration they find online is within the trend,
because the algorithm gives that to you.
And what looks maybe newer in their neighborhood looks like the trend. And so then they start to get sort of get stuck in the thinking inside the trend.
And also when you're looking for inspiration, all you're looking at and all you see is trends done well, right? When you're on Pinterest, and you're looking at black and white living rooms or just black and white exteriors, the houses that pop up are going to be the ones that you like are well done. It's kind of like people say to me, well, like, oh, Maria, like Subway tile, it's so overdone. Like it's so like passe and everybody has Subway tile. That's because those are the kitchens that you're pinning. Those are the bathrooms that you're pinning. But then when it comes right down to it, you become like a kid in a candy store. You throw all this trendy stuff in your bathroom, your kitchen, and it's too much. And it ends up looking bad when you don't manage the details. So it's the same for exterior.
Yeah. And you see it really well done in your inspiration, but it doesn't always translate.
That's right.
Onto the design of your house. There's certain features on a house that makes black windows beautiful, for example.
That's right.
If you have really big, beautiful, symmetrical windows that are a nice feature that you want to pull out, well, sure, you might want a contrasting window frame. But, if your house is built more to accommodate what you're looking for in the interior in terms of layout, you might have a little bit more regular look to your windows on the exterior. which means that the black windows are not going to be as sexy as you think they're going to be.
Also, for example, this week we were just looking at that exterior where when you have black windows on a house that isn't that beautiful, when you have black windows on a house that is not beautiful architecturally, all it does is highlight
the flaws, right?
Yes.
And how it falls short. So it has to be really carefully considered, a black window in particular. And I see too often people sort of just wanting to default to the black window because it's sort of what looks current, you know? But here's the thing. In Maria's Exterior Masterclass, we've got a few different strategies for thinking outside the trend. So that, because what we're saying is that in this trend cycle right now, we're quite deep into the black and white trend now. It's been 6 or 7 years. It's become ubiquitous everywhere. Everybody's sort of, their mindset is within the trend when they approach a project.
And if this is not what you do every day, okay, you've just seen perhaps the few black and white houses in your neighborhood. So you're 7 years into the trend, like we were 7 years ago, going,
this looks fresh.
That's so fresh.
Yeah.
That's what I want for my house. So that's what we're trying to save you from is when you choose the trendy color for your exterior, it instantly dates your house. Like right now, 7 years. So in 2 or 3 years, when it's completely overdone and everyone hates it, your house will instantly look 10 years old. So that's what we're trying to save you from.
Yeah, because especially, so, you know, a typical large trend like this is about 10 years.
It is.
10 to 15 years, different regions, whatnot. If you're 7 years into the trend and you're starting a project, investing in this look, you're kind of on the tail end of the trend, which means, you know, it's going to look dated faster.
That's right.
For your trouble. So, you know, but instead of just sort of going, okay, well then what's the next trend? Like, what do I do next? Like, how do I know, you know, where's my crystal ball? How do I know what's next? You know, it's better to focus on, okay, what makes a beautiful, timeless exterior? You know, the one that that you've gone by for years and it always looks pretty.
And you don't know when was that painted.
Yeah.
But if you see a gray house, you know, it was probably painted about 10, 12 years ago.
Yeah.
If you see a chocolate brown Tuscan house, you think, well, that was probably 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Because it was. The second common mistake that homeowners make is trying to make their house look too interesting.
Everybody's highly concerned about their exterior looking boring.
Yes.
You know, and any project like this is an opportunity to throw all your creativity into it. You know, you want to do something fabulous. You want to incorporate all your ideas, right?
And here's the thing we save our clients from all the time. And that is installing too much stone or brick on their exterior and also in the wrong places. I feel like people don't question their architect. You know,
we've seen a lot of plans drawn up by architects and builders that, you know, where, you know, the stone placement's really odd.
That's right.
And sort of random looking
and wrong.
You know? Yeah. And so, but I think you're right. Like there's just a lot of trust in their expertise. So people just don't question it. But we very often say, you know what, like maybe rethink this placement.
That's right.
Would look more natural.
And certainly another mistake that a lot of homeowners make is they think that just by adding stone to their existing exterior, that somehow elevates it and makes it look more expensive or interesting.
Yeah.
But we are here to tell you otherwise.
Yeah. Because the problem is very often it's really obvious that it was just sort of slapped on, you know, because, you know, they tell you that stone adds value. But, you know, really with stone, I feel like it's kind of all or nothing. Like,
it is.
You either have a stone house, you know, or a mostly stone house, or, you know, you don't.
Exactly. And so what you should focus on more than throwing up stone are much more interesting and thicker, how do you say
moldings,
that?
Like
moldings and trim.
So if you want to elevate the look of your exterior and make it look more refined and expensive, you're going to get much more bang from your buck if you invest in really beautiful wide moldings, pretty trim details.
Yes.
like I love the squared off bump out windows on some traditional homes and little things like trellises and what else?
Now we're also focusing on, we're sort of talking about traditional homes because most homes in actual fact are traditional. And so that's kind of why that's the thing that you should focus on over stone and landscaping. Do not forget the landscaping. We have a whole module in my Exterior Masterclass dedicated to that because it's kind of like the world of if you have your home filled with expensive furniture, but you don't have any art and you don't have any accessories and no styling.
Landscaping is basically your decorating.
It is.
When it comes to exterior, So for the interior, we like to talk about the finishes being sort of a nice neutral envelope, like a canvas, so you can endlessly decorate and redecorate. Your exterior should go kind of the same way. It should be quite simple and elegant, and then as a backdrop, right? For beautiful plantings.
That's right.
Yeah.
Okay, number 3, biggest mistake that homeowners make with exteriors is not being able to see past the black and white trend right now. Whenever I talk about black and white and just kind of thinking outside the box in terms of colors or lighter beiges or grays, like I get so many messages from people on social media, and if I could see their face, they're probably sitting there. It's like they have these big eyes going, but Maria, like, what do you mean? What is there besides black or white?
Yeah. And I also think part of the appeal of the black and white trend was just like, it was apparently simple, right?
It seems
you
so
just
simple.
Need a white and you just need a black.
Cross that project off your list.
Yeah.
What is that accent wall you've been meaning to paint? What is it? I know. Black.
Yeah. Oops, sorry. But the thing is, actually, to do that look, even if you were working within that look, to do it well, the right colors aren't as straightforward as you think. I mean, it's not just white out of the can. It's not just black.
It's not
black.
Splitting hairs between like decorator white and simply white and cloud white. That's not how you get there
either.
No.
So, but it's not as simple as it looks. But in order to move into a more timeless look, now you need to consider sort of a wider range of beautiful colors, and
or neutrals.
Well, and neutrals. Colors and neutrals, and you got to get those right. And then that gets a little trickier. And I think that's why there's some reluctance, even among designers, to move away from the black and white trend.
That's right.
White walls seems really simple.
That's right.
A black and white exterior seems simple. But there are so many more colors to consider once you start to think of it in terms of timeless.
That's right.
And recognize that, while a white house has always been a timeless look, at the moment it's overdone and we have to think about something else.
That's right.
So that we don't just look like we're time stamped in the black and white trend.
So last year I did an update, module 17 in my Exterior Masterclass, which will give you a whole range of paler neutrals to look at that will have your house be different from your neighbor's house, but still be pale. And also color options that are a little more palatable for most people, like, blues and greens and, colors that more people like.
Yeah. And ideas for colors, for sort of updating the look. If you do have a stark black and white house and you're sort of over it, like where to go next.
That's right.
What you can do to kind of update that now, because that's going to be the conversation, right?
It will be
up really soon.
Yeah. People have already started sending us exteriors that they've inherited that are done totally wrong in the black and white trend. Too much black, too much orange wood, and too much black trim. And we're already starting to fix those mistakes.
Yeah. So it's always toward the end of a trend. It's always important to figure out how to, move the house that you've created out of the trend.
That's right.
So
if you're embarking on an exterior renovation or a painting project this spring, you're going to want to have the masterclass in your
toolkit. Yeah, because it will give you a whole other way of framing how to approach choosing color for your exterior,
Because you'll get my system as well of understanding undertones, which you need to understand in order to get it all right, in order to coordinate with that existing stone that you might have. So I'll post all the links below, and thanks for watching.